Hi, welcome back once again to Conspiracy Cases. I'm Jeff Dixon. We're looking at the Reagan conspiracy. And in our previous episode, and if you missed it, go back and listen to it, we laid out what is a thread of evidence that would imply and perhaps fuel a conspiracy fire that George H.W. Bush may have been involved or behind the assassination attempt. Well, it wasn't an attempt, it was an assassination attempt that did take place. It wasn't successful, thankfully, and Reagan survived the gunshots. John Hinckley Jr. is the subject of this particular part of the case files. According to reports, Hinckley was on drugs and was obsessed with Sirhan Sirhan. That name may sound familiar to you as well. In a previous edition of our conspiracy cases, we looked at the assassination of Robert Kennedy. Sirhan Sirhan was the assassin who was charged with that. According to reports, Sirhan Sirhan had been hypnotically programmed, controlled, involved to pull off that assassination. The natural follow-up question was simply this: was Hinckley himself brainwashed by an MK Ultra-like program to terminate Reagan? See, the widely accepted official story is that the disturbed Hinckley shot the president to get the attention of actress Jodie Foster. At Hinckley's trial, he was found not guilty by reason of insanity and was confined to St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Washington, D.C. You may remember at the time of this recording that recently Hinckley is in the process or has already been excluded from the inpatient list at that hospital, and having served time and gone through treatment, it is believed that he is safe to be out in the general public. Whether that has anything to do with timing and who's around and who's not around, and whether or not the death of George H.W. Bush a few years ago would have opened the door for that to take place, that's a whole different set of broadcasts. Now, if we're looking at it as a whodunit, a steamroller can be driven through this conspiracy by arguing that George Herbert Walker Bush, if he was planning a coup, would never have let his son arrange dinner with the Patsy's brother at such an inappropriate time. Oh, and also don't forget that Hinckley did tell the media after the shooting that it was the greatest love offering in the history of the world. But of course, that comes from somebody who is determined to be psychotic. All that said, with the cover-up, there still lingers some unfinished, unexplained loose ends that also continue to fuel a fire that says there could be a conspiracy that we may never unearth for certain. Information that may still not be completely revealed or explained to the public, that adds layers of complication. What is known is that there was a decade-long connection between the Bush and Hinckley families. That's why there was a dinner that was supposed to take place. The families had a long history together, and there were some dealings between the two families over a period of time. That is a fact. Not often talked about, but there. There also was information, such as the fact that the Hinckley-owned Vanderbilt Energy Company was warned mere hours before the shooting that it was likely going to get a $2 million fine from the Department of Energy for overpricing oil. The Hinckley family is warned it's coming, and then less than 2 hours later, one of the Hinckley family attempts to execute the President of the United States. Is there anything there? I don't know. But facts sometimes, if they're not connected properly, don't always tell the story. For those that like to rank whether or not there's any truth behind the conspiracies, on the conspiracy meter, this one ranks On a scale of 1 to 10, at about a 5. There's enough out there that keeps people looking and digging. Will we ever know the truth? Who knows? Will we ever know what really happened? Who knows? Because the facts that we do know for certain, for solid truth, is simply this. There was a man that shot the President of the United States and nearly killed him. He did not. And so the president went on to have one of the most memorable presidencies in the history of America. And so at the end of the day, this gets shuffled and pushed into the backdrop where most things that were engaged or involved in the events that took place really aren't that important now because of the way that history played out. But there is a lot there. And as people often say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And so is there something there for real? Those who like to believe in such things say yes. For us, we simply tell you what we know. And then, in our next episode, we'll make some spiritual ties, some lessons that we can take away from what we do know. And that will be truth that will help us live our lives better. I look forward to joining you next time in Conspiracy Cases.